What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rome Leggett back again with another video. Yes, we back again, and I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's been on my mind for a while. You saw the title, so you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. What is niche, right? That's the big question I have. What is actually niche? In this day and age, that word can get confused with luxury or abundance or rich or something that uh, results in you having to be wealthy. And that's not the case, especially when it comes to fragrances, right? Um, Niche is something very small, targeted to a particular group of people, something that is rare, something that is, hard to find or to obtain. It can be luxury, but in the realm of fragrances, right, we have the category of niche fragrances. And I wanted to talk to you guys because I think that we don't really understand that if it's available everywhere, it's not niche, right? If everybody has access to it, if it doesn't take, some digging, some connections, or in my opinion, some hard work to find these type of fragrances, then I don't consider it to be niche. I consider it to be luxury or something high end, but niche, no. And I wanted to talk to you guys about some fragrances that I consider niche that you guys should probably check out, pay attention to. These fragrances are the ones that are not in like all the department stores. You can't go to, your local mall and find them at Macy's. And they're not always at your, boutique. Sometimes you got to go overseas. Sometimes you got to find them by connecting with, someone that knows someone. And that's the beauty of it for me, because I know no one's going to have that fragrance. I'm not going to say no one. There's a small group of people that's going to have that fragrance. I know that the fragrance will be desirable by more people. I know that the fragrance will be unique in itself because it's rare. Those are the things that excite me. And I know that the companies that focus on that type of stuff typically get some of the most rarest ingredients, some of the most authentic ingredients, some of the most rich smelling notes, ingredients. I want to show you guys some fragrances that I think are niche and they should be in your collection. So without further ado, let's get this thing rolling. Let me start it off like this. There's a few companies that I don't have fragrances of that I think they make some fantastic fragrances and they're hard to find. One that comes to mind is DFG. I think it's 1942. I hope it's 1942. I think it's up here. But one, they're sold specifically in Europe. They do not ship to America. They do not ship anywhere else besides, I think, Europe and probably Asia. The one that comes to mind is this fragrance called Noir. Noir is, it's gorgeous. It is a resinous, gourmand / boozy fragrance. It has cognac, it has amber, it has wood notes. It is a warm, beautiful, sexy. There's nothing I can say. It's sexy as a mofo. And you can't get it. It's hard to find. It's hard to get. I've been trying to get that fragrance for the last 6 years in my collection. And I finally found a way to get it. It just took a little digging. Now, when I say niche, I mean, they aren't really expensive. They're about 100 and maybe $30, maybe 140, depending on the shipping. The bottle design is beautiful, simplistic but gorgeous. You've seen it. I put the picture up here. But the fragrance, the juice is spectacular. And when you're talking about a gourmand, boozy, warm, resinous fragrance, this is top tier. They have at least 25 fragrances in their line, and this one I'm talking about is one of the best. That house is so hush that a lot of people don't even know that it exists. Europe, obviously, but the US, South America, the Middle East, no one's talking about it. And that's because it's specifically targeted to a community in Europe. That's niche. That's something that I want in my collection because I know if I wear it, no one else is going to have it on, or there's going to be a small percentage of people that's going to be wearing it. Another fragrance house that I am dying to get my collection that is literally sold in one place. I think it's sold in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, or just in one of the two. And that is Hindela Oud. You guys have seen it online. People have been talking about it. You cannot get that fragrance shipped in America unless you know someone that lives in the Middle East that is willing to either ship it to you or they are visiting in the States and they're bringing it here and they can get it to you through there. I've tried everywhere, every avenue, and you cannot get it. Of course, you can try to get it on eBay, but I don't really trust eBay like that because people, they know how to open the bottles, they know how to mix the fragrance, they know how to cheapen it by pouring half of it out and then pouring a bunch of alcohol. Y'all know how those scams are. But Hindela Oud, the bottle itself, gorgeous. The packaging itself, just masterpiece when it comes to presentation. I've had a sample of two of their fragrances. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the name. I'll put them up here. But quality oud, rare, aged oud fragrances. Gorgeous and niche. I can tell you right now, all my viewers, out of all you guys watching, there's probably 2 of you that have that fragrance in their collection. If 2, maybe 1. That's how niche and rare this fragrance is. I love that company's, aim, their direction, and I need it in my collection. Another fragrance house, I do actually have a sample of it, and that fragrance house I am just head over heels for. And that fragrance house is Steve Martin Perfumes. Now, me and the perfumer, we've talked a few times. He's a fan of my channel, and I truly appreciate that. He's actually a fan of my Instagram page too. This man has made probably the hardest fragrance to obtain in the fragrance game besides Hindela Oud. Now, you have to know where to purchase this fragrance at, and it's only one place. I might link it down below, but the fragrances are expensive. They're about $500 to $650 a bottle, but I've smelled every single one of them, and they are jaw-dropping gorgeous. Every single one are made specifically for a river in the world, right? I'm not sure exactly how or what happened, but I was told, and I could be wrong, that he visited different places in the world and he took inspirations from the surrounding foods, the soil, the air, the plants, the rivers, and made fragrances to be basically his description of those places. And the 2 that I really love is, I think it's Ethiopia, I think that's how you say it, and Mississippi are my 2 favorites. Nile is this a close third, but all of the fragrances have such a quality that is rare when it comes to niche fragrances. When you're talking about oil concentration, it stays on your hand. You're talking about just smooth composition when it transitions from each note to each note. They are just outstanding. And I need that fragrance in my life. Hopefully by Christmas I'll have it. We'll see. But this is the thing I love. I love searching. I love looking for those type of fragrances because I know that once I get it, I'm gonna feel like I accomplished something. Don't get me wrong. Easy to obtain fragrances are fine. Just because they're easy to obtain because they're here and they're available doesn't mean you can afford them. Some of these fragrances start at $200 to $1,000+ That doesn't mean that they are available, but it's just for me, there are more people that can afford to, buy 20 fragrances at Saks Fifth Avenue without even batting an eye at how much it costs, right? I have to be specific on what I want in my collection because I don't have money falling out of the sky to do that. And when it gets to that point where you can just buy whatever you want, there's, to me, no rush, no satisfaction, no, kind of feeling like, oh man, I accomplished something. Those are the things that I love about niche fragrances. I found out where it was. I was able to connect with the right people. And now not only do I have a relationship with this fragrance boutique or the perfumer or both, I know that in my collection will be something that not a lot of people will have. And I can walk around and smelling great and getting compliments and having these conversations. Those things are what counts to me. So let's move right along. The next fragrance house I want to talk about is getting more and more popular. They are one of the fragrance houses that I consider niche because you can only buy their fragrances at their boutiques. And that fragrance house I'm talking about is Kriegler Perfume. Kriegler Perfume, just fantastic. I talked about them in my King of the Hill videos. Niche is, if you look into the definition of niche perfume, this is definitely, one of the fragrances that come up. Quality fragrances. They don't have any boutiques carrying their fragrances. They don't put their fragrances even in department stores. No one is making their fragrances but the Kriegler family. It is exclusive to Kriegler boutiques in New York, Miami, overseas in Europe, and I think in California. That's it. There might be one more. But do you understand how rare that is? That means you only have less than 5 places that you can purchase this, unless you get it online. And when it comes to luxury fragrances, I think they teeter the line between a niche and luxury because the price point is definitely high. Nothing is in Kriegler's cabinet that is under $400. The juice is, spectacular. The presentations are timeless, and the exclusivity is something that I love about them. If you know about them, if you can get a sample from the boutique, which is damn near $40, most people aren't going to do that. You have to spend some money. You have to go to the boutiques, and you have to be dedicated, saying, I am getting Kriegler. That's what I want. They are a little bit more available than most of the niche I'm talking about, but they deserve to be on this list. That's why they are on the niche perfume fragrance list. Kriegler fragrances. Next up, this fragrance house is, I have to say this and I'm proud of it. I was the first person to review this fragrance house roughly about 10 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 9 years ago. They are exclusive to Italy. They are one boutique in the United States, and that's in Miami. That's Osmond Perfumery. I think they're the only one to have them. And that fragrance house is Minty La Rosa. Minty La Rosa has some of the most abstract fragrances you can ever imagine. Everything is made specifically from Stefania's kind of imagination, her interpretation of what she thinks a fragrance should smell like. At least that's what she told me, when the first 5 years that I've, known her. These fragrances are so unique in the way that she told me that she was dreaming about notes and how to create a fragrance. Woke up, created some samples, told her perfumer what she wanted off of the sample she made it, and it created the fragrances. Now, this in particular one, this is ID or ID. This is one of my favorites. This is a cinnamon-based fragrance that has, you know, just this spicy, sweet, almost dry nuance that is gorgeous. They have so many offerings that create a story. Mint Rosa is one of the fragrance houses that I fell in love with from first sniff. From North, that smells almost professional and oceanic at the same time. You have Lament, that is one of the most gorgeous, spicy rose fragrances that you will ever get your nose on. There are so many fragrances. They even have Osang. Osang literally smells like a church. It smells like church incense and clean soap. Like, who does that? Like, how do you get the two to mesh well together like that? That is in the bottle design. We're not even going to talk how the bottle designs look. We have this fragrance called Sayaro. I think that's how you say it. I'll put the name up here. That fragrance itself smells like a green apple, like a Granny Smith apple. It exactly like that. Like, if you put Granny Smith apple and probably infused it with lemon and bergamot, that's how that smells. And it had one that at one time it smelled, I'm not gonna say it smelled. They had one at one time, it had like a sea shell on top, and they got a lot of flack because people thought that they were taking like these real like sea orchids or something that was alive and like taking the shell and put them in a cap, which is absurd. But I can't remember the name of that one. But that fragrance itself smells like a sea salty ocean fragrance. If you can mix a little bit of honey sweetness with suntan lotion and sea salt like water, that's what that fragrance smells like. Gorgeous, polarizing but gorgeous. And the bottle designs are great. She has so many fragrances, I can talk about them all. The one thing I love about them is that they're rare. The niche quality is not only in the bottle design and the rarity of where you can find it, it's the stories. The stories behind that fragrance house is such a unique one. And I know a lot of you don't even know that this fragrance house even exists. And that's the beauty. A lot of you don't know. So the ones that pay attention, that take the time to find out about the perfumer, find out about the creator of the fragrance house, that gets a sample sip from Italy or Miami. Now you get a chance to experience something that isn't mainstream, something that isn't hyped over and over and over and over, and something quality, unique, and like I said, niche. So you guys got to check this house out. It's a fantastic house, Mint Rosa. Go check it out. Next up, this is a house that I love dearly. It's close to my heart. They have such fantastic fragrances again, and that fragrance house is Evanescence. Now, Evanescence, just off of the bottle design and the coffin, this is fantastic. Cashmere, pouch to carry your fragrances in. I've talked about this fragrance house on and on and on. Of course, you guys know it because I probably talked about it. Some of you new guys that's just joining my channel for the first time probably don't know. But one thing I can say about this company, when it comes to authentic notes, she does not skimp on them. This fragrance right here, this is called Musk Ambergris. The ambergris in this fragrance is 100% authentic ambergris. So much that, let me show you this, that the ambergris is crystallizing on the cap. I hope you can see that. That is crazy. That's crazy. Smells fantastic. Every single fragrance I have here from the line smells fantastic. The rarity of each fragrance is what I love, because I know that, once again, if I walk into a club, if I walk into a restaurant, if I walk into, a comedy show, I'm gonna walk around and I know people are gonna be like, whoa, what is that? That smells so good. Where did you get that from? I can introduce some people to it. Now, when they go online and they see, well, this is a little expensive, that shortens the amount of people that's gonna grab it, right? That's niche. You might say $275, $375 is too much. But another person might say, nah, I can get that. That's right up my alley. I'll grab one of those. Get that fragrance now, right? You've accomplished the goal of having it in your collection. Now you pick that place you want to go. Out on a date, to, a restaurant. Maybe you want to go out in the club. Maybe you're hanging out with your guys and you want to smell your best, right? You throw this on, you put your nice outfit on, you smelling great, you feeling great. That's the point, right? You walk into the place where you're at, you know that you're gonna turn heads because, one, you look good, and two, you smell fantastic. I'm confident when you buy these fragrances, no one's gonna have it in their collection. So that's what I consider niche. Evanescence is absolutely niche. Next up, this is beyond niche. This is now damn near unattainable. This fragrance house, you cannot find it in the US at all. This is in, I think, Denmark, or no, it's not Denmark. Amsterdam, I think it is. I could be wrong. It's one of the two. No, I'm wrong with that. I think this is Sweden. Yes, I think it's Sweden. Am I right? I think this is Swedish. No, I'm wrong on all three. Switzerland. Switzerland is where you can find this fragrance house. I don't even know where it's at. That's how rare it is. That's crazy. But the fragrance house I'm talking about is Jesusak. Jesusak, I found this fragrance house probably about 8 years ago. They just launched their company probably a year prior to that. Essence Festival was online at the time. You couldn't even go there unless you were just, in the perfume game. It wasn't like it is now, this big showcase where people can go and smell. Online, saw him, was intrigued by the story and the bottle design. The husband makes the fragrances. His wife designs the bottles, and they come up with whatever story they want behind the fragrance. This one I have in my hand is Immortal Beloved, right? This is the only fragrance I have from that line, because they don't ship to the US. I've been trying to get more fragrances. Lucky Scent had them for about a year and then they stopped. But you can purchase this fragrance online. It's just, the shipping is crazy. I think it's probably like $60 to get it shipped to America. But it is available. You just got to know where to purchase it, and you have to have the money to purchase it. So they start around $225 and they go up to like $500. To some people, that's not a lot. Some people, it's too much. But Juice, my guys, oh my God, everything I've smelled from them has been beast mode. They have one that smells literally like marijuana and chocolate. Crazy. Fantastic. They have one that smells like leather, just pure authentic new leather, just mind-blowing. This one smells like Caribbean spices with a sweet immortelle flower. So we got a sweet nuance that almost smells like syrup or honey. You have the spiciness that comes in this fragrance from like these Caribbean spices. The immortelle gives off a floral, spicy nuance also, and beast mode. I'll put in some pictures of the other fragrances up here so you can see, but definitely niche quality fragrance that is rare. You guys gotta check this house out. Jesusak, fantastic fragrance house that you will be literally the only person that has this fragrance in your collection in your town. Another fragrance house that I got introduced to online, I wound up speaking with the perfumer. There's another oud-based fragrance house, and this one is called Oud Factory. Now, Oud Factory's been out for available to me. I'm not gonna say been out, that I've known for them about maybe 6 years. And it started off with the oud. This is how the perfumer creator got famous, through these beautiful 100% oud oils. And this one here is called Deer Soul. And this was made with deer musk and eaglewood. And if you love those animalic oud fragrances, get the oils. Get these. He has now branched out and made perfumes. I'll show you some up here. Some fantastic fragrances. Quality. I haven't got a chance to get the fragrances. I will. There are some. He has one that is based off of oud and chocolate. He has some rose and oud combinations that are fantastic. I've had the samples, fell in love, but at the time I didn't have the money to purchase them. And they were still in development. You can only purchase his fragrances through him off of Instagram or WhatsApp. But you got to know who Oud Factory is to do that. Some of you guys know, but once again, this is what I consider niche. Get your nose on this. Oud Factory has some of the best, some of the rarest, and the most authentic oud oils and fragrances you will ever find. You can thank me later. One of the fragrance houses that I consider still niche, they're becoming a little bit more popular. I can say I was, once again, one of the first fragrance reviewers to review this house. I'm proud of that. And I can't say anything but good things about this fragrance house. If you're talking about someone that creates off of emotion, creates off of history, Meo Fusciuni is absolutely one of them. This fragrance I have right here is called Oud 93. And if you are talking about someone that hates tuberose, that's me. This made me fall in love with it because Giuseppe, the creator, is a master perfumer. He has so many great fragrances from his house. I think the only place you can purchase this is in Europe. No, there is one place in the US that you can buy these now. I think it's in Brooklyn. But look what I mean. Like, you have to think. Like, I'm helping you guys out. I'm doing the work for you. One place in the US you can purchase these. These don't look like this anymore. The bottles are a little bit more, I can say they're a little bit more luxury. The bottles are a little bit more luxurious. The cap is a lot smaller. I think it's metal now. I'll put a picture up here of the new bottle design. But once again, I purchased these fragrances when they first started coming out, early, 2013, 14, 15. And one place had it. It was Mint, New York. Mint, New York stopped selling fragrances from any company, and they pulled their stuff and said, nope, only online in Europe, and we're not even shipping to America yet. Wait, we'll let you know where you can purchase them. You can't even buy the fragrances on their website. They don't even sell them. You have to get it from the boutiques that they distribute their fragrances from. If that's not niche, I don't know what is. You cannot just go online and say, yeah, ship it to me. No. Find the boutiques, do the work, get the samples, pick the fragrance, and you will be gifted with something that no one has or few people have. That is fantastic to me. Get your nose on Little Song. Get your nose on Lucy. Get your nose on Narcotico. There are so many fragrances. There's one that smells now literally like rice pudding. Can't remember the name. I'll put it up here. Japanese rice pudding That fragrance in opening smells aromatic, but the dry down is gorgeous. Borderline soft gourmand. But once again, this house definitely niche. You need it in your collection. Last but not least, I'm not gonna hold you guys. No anticipation. Graham and Pot. Graham and Pot is another European company that I am invested in. I am going to review the fragrances as much as I can until they are available in the US. This was a struggle trying to get this fragrance in my collection. They don't ship to America. You can't buy it online. They're damn near sold out all the time because the people in Europe and other parts of the world know about this house. But if you want to get this fragrance, you gotta be quick because once they get back in stock, they sell out. 2, if you live in America, you better know someone in Europe because they cannot ship over here and they won't. You gotta get it shipped to someone, and that's what I did. I got it shipped from a friend of mine that lives in Britain, and she was gracious enough to send me the fragrances. Now, don't get me wrong, it took a minute. It took about a month for them to get here. This even took longer. This took like 3 months to get here, but it was well worth the wait because the fragrance is so gorgeous. This one smells like raspberry, honey, amber, gorgeousness. This is, oh, I gotta spray this. I gotta spray this one. It's so good. This is like a glass of wine and a honey cinnamon bun with a glazed raspberry topping. That's what this smells like. Fantastic. They have other fragrances that are gorgeous too. Royal Llama, Sun King, Amber Amir. Not just talking about the fragrance, not just talking about the design, but this fragrance house is so obscure, so hard to obtain. And when you are able to get it, it just feels good. It feels good to me. And that's what I want you guys to have. If you take the time, you have the patience, you do the research, you reach out to your peoples, you can have this in your collection. When it's available in the US, I'll let you guys know. What I wanted to bring these fragrances to your attention because not only are they great fragrances, not only do I consider them niche, but I consider them some of the best of the best. And you guys deserve the best of the best. Y'all my peoples. I smell good guys. So I want to do that for y'all. Now, there will be a few of you guys that know about these fragrance houses. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking about the ones that don't know. I'm talking about the ones that heard about it, maybe a whisper, seen the little hints of it there and there. I've never heard of them at all. You guys are the ones I'm talking to. I'm talking to every one of you guys when it comes to let's stop categorizing everything niche because it's not. If I can go into Bergdorf and I see every fragrance company that's supposed to be niche in there, no. If I can go into Saks, if I can go into any department store and find 40, 50 fragrance companies that are supposed to be only in boutiques, then now we have blurred the lines. You're no longer, in my mind, that company that deserves to be considered niche. You are considered to be luxury fragrances. You are considered to be quality fragrances. But if you are niche, you better be sold online or only in one place. That is what I consider niche, in my opinion. You can make the definition of however you want. But if we look at the actual definition, which I'll put up here, it's not available everywhere. It's not obtainable to every single person. And that's the beauty of this right here. That's that's what we do here. We want to show you guys how to smell great, but also feel confident that you're not walking in a room with 40 people with the same thing you have on. Imagine walking in there, not just fragrance, but you bought a nice dress or a nice tuxedo or a nice suit or a fresh pair of sneakers or shoes. And you walked into this place where you thought you dappered out, and you walk inside this place and 25 damn people have the same outfit on. You getting up, you walking out. You definitely getting up. You gonna return that outfit. I want this. That's the same way I feel about fragrances. I'm sorry. This smells so good. So, I know I talked a lot, but I wanted to let you guys know how I felt. And I hope that you guys agree with me. Put down below if you do. Don't forget to do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe on this video. I hope you guys enjoyed what I'm doing for you guys. Truly appreciate each and every one of y'all. All right, that's it. I'm out of here. Until next time, like I always say, it's okay if you want to smell like Rome. I'll check you guys out in the next video. Until then, peace.